Stella Artois was bought in Germany from actually a friend of mine who's a horse dealer, and her name was Second Chance because he's one of Martod's best friends, and Martod's broker's name is Second Chance. I guess I told him to name the horse that. So I didn't really like love that much. So I think we named her Barney Toddy like in tribute to the fact that she had Martod's name, and then. I don't even really know how we came up with Stella Artois, to be very honest with you. Oh, Stella, her barn name was Stella. So that we changed, her barn name was Stella, so we changed her
So you weren't drinking?
Actually, no. We weren't. I do have a picture of the other one, the beer when we first bought it. So.
And what's she like? I mean, what's her little personality?
Yeah, she's always been I don't know if wild's the right word. She's just this horse that she's quite tall and she's a bit exuberant about everything. And when she came, she would like run you over like on the ground and like rear when you're trying to give her a shower. And I don't really know what the right word is for that. Feral, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I just was always like, oh gosh, when this horse gets really fit, she's going to be a handful in the 10-minute box. I was always laughing about that. But she's a very sweet horse, and she's from Germany, and Philip Kalusa, who had her, always fed her like silverbred and stuff like that, so I think she's pretty spoiled, yeah. So she'll eat anything. I guess in Germany they give their horses silverbred as a treat or something. She will literally, no, it was like a treat, yeah. So she'll eat anything, and she's just a bit of a character. She's a handful. Like, she'd be one you probably wouldn't want to lead around without a chain, because she would just like, go wherever she wants and not really have much regard for what you want to do. But she's sweet.
And you were hunting for a little bit of redemption after Jersey, and today she looked spot on, and how'd she go?
Yeah, I was saying to Emily, to be honest, like I really didn't leave the box like thinking I mean, of course, like I would love to do well at this event, but I wasn't like, I mean, I like to be competitive, but like my main goal was just to give the horse a good go. And I was laughing because Boyd's like loved this horse since the first second he saw her, and it's funny because people have always like he's like, I just don't understand why you haven't won like everything on this horse. Like he said that to me like a couple times this year, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I've won a couple intermediates this year, but like nothing really. Like I feel like my friends know her and like her, but like she's not, and I run her slow a lot, and so I think she is a 3-day horse, and I think she's all the right stuff to be like the real deal. And I was laughing. I texted Boy today, and I was like, "Okay, we're like trying to live up to your name here or whatever." So, so it's fun. She's always been that horse that I feel like is probably one of the most talented horses that I have, but I've yet to like have that day where like you put it all in on one day. Even at Red Hills this spring when she won that intermediate, I mean, I was like. She in the show gym and she's like spoofing at something, and I'm like, like she's just been agreeing as slow to bring along. So I was talking to Emily, I was like, I didn't even look at my watch the last 2 minutes because I just really, my main focus was to give the horse a good go and just hopefully be as quick as I can. And I'm just trying to enjoy the fact that it was like a good go for her and a safe day. And I mean, whatever happens tomorrow happens, but I'm happy because she's a nice horse, and we tried to syndicate her a little bit, and Beth kind of came in and, like I said, supported me when kind of no one else, like someone dropped out and doing it, and she stepped up and went half and half with me. So I would more like just the horse to have a good day, honestly, to prove like that the horse is really great.
So the 2-star rode pretty well, especially in comparison to the 3-star. So what did you think about how it rode?
Yeah, that mare I will say is like a very bold horse and very honest. Like the only problem I've ever had across country is at Jersey when she fell in that final combination. So for me, it's just about rideability, but it all jumped really well. And everyone was saying, oh, the time's going to be harder, and I was kind of not thinking that. So it was interesting that it worked out that way. I mean, I didn't ride well in the second jump on the team. I better do a better job of that. And other than that, it rode quite well. But I was just kind of the whole time thinking, all right, keep your head and don't do anything stupid.
What were your thoughts on 2-star horse?
I thought the same. I thought it looked like it was
one that was going to be allowing for a lot of galloping, but you definitely had to make sure that you had communication for the technical jumps. There were plenty of big jumps. I think it proved whether or not a horse is going to be ready to move up to the next level. I think we definitely had pretty perfect ground at Fairhill, so that seemed to make the horses make it much easier at the end to keep galloping. I didn't really know what to expect with mine. Still getting to know her, so I went out and was a little slower than I would have liked to have been early on, and just kind of figuring out some fine tuning, and then had a really great go through the majority of the course, and then lost quite a bit of control at the end. So, you know, I definitely had to waste time at the end just making sure that I kept her on her feet and got her focused on the jumps. She's a really big horse, and this is her first CCI 2-star. So I think now I know when she gets tired, she just keeps pulling on through things, and including me. So I'm going to have to keep working on that for the future, but I thought it rode fantastic. It definitely encouraged forward riding, but yeah, I feel like Derek really set us up to be successful with our forward riding. He gave you, you know, approaches that made you set the horse up in balance while you kept going forward. So I thought it all rode really well.
And how would you compare that to the K-Star?
I think it was very similar in that fact, and I mean probably somewhat in the way that the courses both ran the similar direction this year too. So I feel like it was nice for me to have gone out on the 2-star horse and feel what I had at the end, and you know where I could go faster and make up time, because I think there were a lot of similarities as far as the track, and same kind of feel really. And how was Delta out there?
Delta was super. You know, I've had a little bit of an on and off year with her. She came out this year much bolder and less focused, so I've had some stupid run-bys just with her not being very focused. So I was really determined at the beginning. I was definitely concerned about the first water and the angled brushes, just making sure I got her eye on it. And then I've also had trouble with her then at the end when she tires, not listening to me and, you know, getting a little haphazard in her jumping form. So I was probably a little more defensive with her at the end of the course than I needed to be, and she was awesome. I mean, I definitely, you know, in hindsight, set up more for a few things than I needed to, because she listened much better than I thought she was going to, just based on her history. And she had tons of gallop left, and I mean, really jumped all the hard stuff as well as I could pass. So I'm thrilled with her. I feel like I've got my girl back. So.
You feel like I missed that?
I say I feel like I've got my girl back.
There she is. Thank you, Lauren. Lauren said, "Do I really need to come?" I said, "Yes, you do." So ask her some good questions.
Yeah, so Monaco really stepped up and looked great. So how did you feel out there?
He was super. You know, this is the 2-star level is kind of a sweet spot. This is his third CCI 2-star actually, so it really felt really simple out there on him. You know, he's a very quick horse. Actually, both of those brothers are Monte Carlo with the 3-star too, and you know, they just both felt like they were just doing exercise out there.
So does that mean
the Monaco, actually, you know, he's really good at the 2-star. We've done a couple of advances, and we just kind of go back and forth. You know, but he's certainly, like, he's taken a bit to mature, but he certainly might move up in the spring for sure.
And what do you think about how the 2-star course went?
That was good. You know, it actually, especially after going out on the first mare, it was a very instinctual course because the ground changed so much, and certainly jumping into stuff, your eye would see something, but the ground would change and then disappear. So you actually had to kind of just ride off your instinct and ride forward with a short neck so that they had options, because you actually couldn't really dictate what your step was doing in there. So it certainly kind of had a different feel, but I think it probably was really educational.
you said the ground changing in the terrain?
Yeah, you know, like especially in the waters, you know, you kind of jump in and you might see something in the water to the out, but then you've got a terrain change coming out, which changes your striding, you know, so you actually kind of had to fight against your instinct to adjust to the distance and just give your horse the canter they needed to fix it themselves.
Well, let's have them stand, and we'll take pictures of our. So excited! It was a big day out there. Derek has changed the course quite a bit, and you had said you really look forward to this. So, can you tell us a little bit about how it rode compared to how it walked, and how each of the girls were today?
I thought the course rode beautifully. Actually, I thought Derek did a beautiful job presenting it for the horses. I thought it rode well in the different direction. It was nice to that it shuffled the board a little bit, and that not everybody knew exactly where to push, where to give them a break. So it was a new track for all the riders, and for the riders that are coming into Fairhill as their first 3-star, that's a real advantage. I thought that I was hoping Demi was going to be very good today, and she was from start to finish. She jumped very well. She was focused and looking for the fences. I had a little bit of cross-country moment at the second water. She just got a little slow with her front end, but she's a wonderful sport and picked herself up, and off she went to be, and that's just her experience and her heart. So she gave me a great run around and was able to slow up a little bit at the end and come in nicely under the time. And Scandalous is green to the level. Got a little excited before going into the start box, so I started a few seconds late. Had to go back in so that I wasn't starting early. And then she just had a hard time settling with the rhythm, so started a little slower than I would have liked, but it was the right thing for her. It's only her second run at the CCI level, and it rode very true around for her, and she's a very courageous horse, and she was nice and straight. Finished comfortably.
Was it an advantage to ride her first, before Demi, or would you have rather ridden the other way around?
Would have loved to have ridden Demi before, because I do know her so well, and there is an invaluable advantage with a horse that you have a partnership with. But at the same time, Scandalous she's very straight, she's very adjustable, and she always wants to do a good job, and she'll hold her line. So I had a feeling that if I presented it well to her, she would try to get the job done.
Is there a certain amount of comfort though, knowing that you had another horse coming, and that so you could take your time to get in?
Well, not really, because anytime you plan to bring it up well with the second one, it doesn't seem to go that way. Anytime you think you've got a cushion on cross country, you're looking at yourself. It can go just as wrong for Demi as it could for Scandalous. So I wanted to put in the best round that I thought Kitty was capable of for her day, and I think that was what she did, and I couldn't ask any more from her.
So the restart did cause quite a lot of trouble, so how did you think the course rode overall?
It did cause a lot of trouble, but there was also a lot of really fantastic rounds. We saw a lot of riders come in underneath the time. We saw a lot of horses that they were jumping better at the end than they were at the beginning. I thought that on the whole, the horses might have gotten a little tired from the terrain, but they didn't lose their jump. They were jumping quite well. And some years you see the third water riding a little hairy, and this was very telltale. The third water was riding well, so that's a real indication of how the course, how it's taken its toll on the horse. I thought Derek did a beautiful job this year. You're always going to have a certain amount of a shuffle in the results. That's cross country day, but I thought he did a fantastic job. We've had a good balance of riders that wish they had a better day and riders that came away thinking my horse is better for the run.
Everyone good?
No.
No?
So this business about the blood on Kitty, you know what I'm talking about? Did they mention that?
Well, actually, why don't we introduce Christian to answer? We know where you're going, so Christian Landau, president of the jury, can tell you the jury's actions and position.
Well, good evening. Basically, what happened, or the information we got in control, was that at fence 20 was the first time we got a report that there may have been some blood visible, nothing before. And so a colleague of mine from the grand jury was at fence 22 and confirmed that there was some blood, but it wasn't anything unduly and worrying and fresh and pouring like some people might have said. The two TDs were at fence 23, 24, confirmed that yes, okay, it was red, but there was nothing running, gushing or anything. And at the finish, the vet was informed informed that there might have been some blood, and on the inspection she saw nothing. There was no open wound, no blood or anything. So that's the information we were given. And so there isn't really a case. Clearly the mare probably picked it up or something like that, but the fact that the vet couldn't find any fresh injury or any fresh blood on the horse at the finish is, well, I don't know what I can say. I mean, it's just what I'm being told, and what I was with the vet, and you know, that's what it is. So,
How long after pulling up was the mare examined by the vet?
I mean, it pulled up, and the vet went to the horse at that time.
What bit was she?
She goes in a straight bar, a smooth straight bar pelham.
It looked in the pictures. It looks like there's something else in her mouth.
There's not. You're welcome to have a look at the bit. It's just a
Just
smooth,
wondering.
straight bar pelham, and no joint, no hinge. It's a plain leather noseband. It's essentially what the horses are going in dressage in. Just happens to have a snaffle rein because I ride the first half of the course on the snaffle rein. And then in the CCIs, I used it at Morven as well, and she seems to like it very well. There's nothing on it that can cut her, so it's quite wide, smooth, no hinges, no joints. Just is what it is.
Is it proper mouthpiece?
No,
It's just a stainless steel
straight,
mouthpiece.
straight bar, stainless steel pelham.
So when they came up to you afterwards, you must have been going, what? Because you didn't know what was happening, right?
Well, when I got off the horse, the vets were there for the horse, and they were taking her temperature, and there wasn't anything evident there at that time. By the time she pulled up, so I don't know what to say. I didn't see her.
No,
like that.
I got that part, but I meant they must have said something to you, like,
At the time, no.
Oh, okay.
The vets were with the horse, and they walked away with the horse, and then they would examine the horse. And by the time I walked up, I said hello to Mrs. Mars, told her she went beautifully, and by the time I walked up, the horse was cleared and cooling out.
So it was like no issue at all for you. I was just saying
Didn't
that,
find out until later.
yeah, when you're riding, you have no idea what's going on. That's
No,
why
and when I
asked
pulled
about
up, I didn't notice anything either, so I actually found out quite a bit later.
it. And since it was all over, you were copacetic, huh?
Well, obviously you want, I want her to be absolutely as comfortable as she possibly can. That's why I've chosen that bit. It allows me to balance her, and yet it's a very smooth mouthpiece, a nice, soft, loose leather noseband. And I think she goes well in it, and I want her to be as comfortable as she can. Obviously, I don't want her to, if she bit her tongue, it could have happened at any time. I can't help that. But maybe I can look into some ways to keep that from happening in the future. But it didn't seem to alter her performance, and I hope it doesn't happen again.
Everybody good? Well, we thank you. Thank you, Christian, for coming. Marilyn, congratulations on a fabulous day.